So in the last video, we left off where Giselle had just finished laying her third egg, and at that point it was just a waiting game. So I got into a routine for the next 35 days where I would feed Giselle multiple times a day. In the morning I would go in there and I would take a towel with me that I had kind of warmed up just by placing under my shirt for a bit while I was feeding her. And when she left the nest to go eat, I would put the towel on the nest. And after she ate, she would fly around. So I kind of fast forwarded this because it's just her flying around the mews. But she would do this to get exercise and go to the bathroom. And she would do this for 5-10 minutes sometimes. And then eventually she would come back to the nest. So when she would come back to the nest, I would go ahead and remove the towel. This is also sort of in fast motion. That way she could get back to the eggs. And I did that because I wasn't sure how long the eggs could be in cold weather without her laying on them. It wasn't that cold in the mornings, but it was probably around 50 degrees or so Fahrenheit. So once she looked like she was heading back towards the nest, I would give her a little space, and then she'd get settled right in and get right back on the eggs after doing a little bit of nest cleaning and adjusting. And so this was the routine. I would also go in there and feed her at the end of the day in the afternoon after work. And that was basically the routine for 35 days. And then we got our first pipping. It looks like only one of the eggs was fertile. It was the egg with the green stripe, and you can see there that the baby had started to break through the shell. And so this was the first morning that I saw this, and this was right at 35 days. And then what I was told that it could take 36 to 48 hours or possibly a little bit longer for the baby to come fully out of the egg. So I just kept checking it from time to time. This is that same day, about 12 hours later in the evening, and you could see that more of the shell was removed by the baby in the egg. And mostly I just didn't want to bother Giselle at this point. So I was only filming the eggs when she was off the nest and eating. This was the following morning from the first morning where I had seen the pipping begin. And you could see here that now the hole was getting much larger. You could actually see inside the egg. You could hear the baby peeping or chirping. And you could see movement in there. And the other eggs at this point are not fertile, but I kind of just wanted to leave everything alone, so I wasn't changing things too much. And then I just kept checking on the egg nervously, trying not to mess with Giselle that much. And here is that evening, 36 hours later, and you can see the baby's beak now. And you can see the egg tooth on top of the beak, and the egg tooth is a protrusion on the beak that they have when they're babies that they use to start opening up the shell. And so they kind of make a circle around the shell that they weaken and break, and eventually they pop out. And so yeah, it was a nerve-wracking 2 days, really, 36 hours at this point. But you'll see in the next clip that the baby was born first thing in the morning, 48 hours after pipping. And so here's Giselle with the baby fully hatched, and the other eggs are not fertile. So that's pretty much it. And at this point, I will make another video of just raising the baby and Giselle raising the baby, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.